hearing on special assessments for alley improvements. I am Alder Harmon of District 14 and Committee Chair. Tonight we have Alders Papone, Vice Chair of the Committee, and from District 15, Alder Widener from District 6, Alder Allen from District 9, Alder DeMark from District 12. We have John Rooney, who is Commissioner of Public Works, to my right. We have Ron Pritzloff, Assistant Commissioner of Public Works and Operations, to my left. We have Christine Wilkinson, Engineering Tech. We have Kendra Hipshin, Administrative Assistant and recording the public hearings. Right now, I am going to read notice for public hearings for tonight. This is a public hearing for anyone, their agent or attorney, to state their support of or objection to the proposed street improvement pavement projects. Public comments, letters, and petitions will be made a part of the record of this hearing and will be taken under consideration with the committee when the committee determines which streets will be approved, disapproved, or modified for improvement at its next scheduled meeting. There will be no action taken tonight on the streets proposed at tonight's hearing. Each proposed street or alley improvement paving project will be announced and considered individually. Each proposed project will be on display during the public hearing for reference and information. You only need to state your name, address, and if you are in favor of or opposed to your street or alley's accessible project. If it is a street assessment project, you will need to also state your preference of bituminous or concrete. There is no need to explain your position. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less, and there will be a clock. Property owners who do not wish to speak at tonight's public hearing but do wish to state their support or objection can send a letter to the Commissioner of Public Works. Letters must be received within 10 days after tonight's public hearing to be considered. All petitions and letters will be made a part of the record of tonight's public hearing. Property owners' support or opposition to each project will be reported on a percentage of frontage basis on the Public Works and Services Committee at their next meeting. If the City of Racine determines to proceed with the proposed project, a final resolution shall be adopted by the Common Council. The City Clerk shall publish the final resolution as a Class 1 notice. A copy of said resolution shall be mailed to every interested party. A person having an interest in land affected by the determination of the Common Council shall have 90 days after the date of notice to appeal the determination to the Racine County Circuit Court. Streets adopted for improvement and alleys adopted for paving this year will be bid for construction in the summer of the following year. After construction is completed and the construction contract is closed, the abutting property owners will be assessed, invoiced for their portion of the project cost. Assessments under $200 must be paid in full. Assessments over $200 may be paid in 10 annual installments. Deferred payments to bear interest at a rate of 6% per annum on the unpaid balance. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to Ron Pritzloff, who will present each alley up for public comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a couple of slides to go through just as an introductory scenario here for the group, looking at some historical costs and where we're headed that way. So to start with, 7-inch Portland cement concrete pavement alley assessment rates over the last 10 years. So back in 2017, basically from 2017 to 2021 or so, it remained not much change in the price. However, basically from 22 on, we can see a very large increase from 22 to 27. In 27, we have an estimated cost of $136. But so costs are ever increasing. The next slide here shows a projection out to 2032 from $136 per front foot in 2027, projected out to 2032. That's $199 per front foot. Our first alley is bounded by DeKoven 18th Villa and Park. It is in District 2. The existing surface is concrete pavement in 1940. The Pacer rating is 1. The existing pavement width is 15 foot and a right-of-way of 20 feet. Proposed improvements are Portland cement concrete pavement at $163 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. There are currently 9.40% opposed to the improvement, and the last public hearing date was 2012, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on DeKoven 18th Villa Park? Please step to the podium, tell us your name, address, and if you are in favor of or against the project.
I am Pedro Teixeira. I live on 514 on DeKoven Avenue, and at this time I am against the project.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on? Please come forward, state your name, address, and if you are for or opposed to the project.
Caroline Uzanis. My address is 1830 Park Avenue. I am.
Thank you so much. Please state your name, address, and if you are in favor of or opposed to the
My
project.
name is Joyce Guston. My address is 1820 Park Avenue. I am opposed to the project. Grants, I didn't accept the last one, could get towards my.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here tonight who would like to speak? Thank you. Please state your name,
My
address.
name is Fernando Pinon. I'm at 1516 Park Avenue in Racine, and I'm opposed to it. Can I give a comment why? Or don't? The reason is I don't see any instability, any potholes, any damage of the road itself, so I'm intrigued that they're doing something like this when I don't see no serious damage on that road structure.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak on DeKoven 18th Villa Park? Going once. Please step forward to the podium. Give us your name, address, if you're for or opposed, and why, if you would like to.
I was already here, but I didn't know we could say a comment. The reason I am opposed is because of the cost that will affect many of the people around, who, some who are renters. It will increase the rent, I'm sure, and none of us are wealthy. And also with everything that's been happening this past year, with the lead replacement, so Park Avenue was tore up for that. Everyone in the neighborhood got hit with hail damage. We just all finished that. This is something that would be a lot in that small time frame. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Going once, going twice. Last call. All right. I am now going to consider public comment closed for DeKoven 18th and Villa Park. Now we're going to move on to the next one.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The next alley is bounded by Prospect, Harriet, Jefferson, and Howard. It is a north-south alley. It's in District 6. The existing surface is concrete pavement, 1942. The Pacer rating is 1. Existing pavement width is 14 foot and a right-of-way of 15 foot. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 4.17% opposed and 4.17% in favor of the improvement, and the last public hearing date was in 2024.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Prospect, Harriet, Jefferson, Howard? Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Prospect, Harriet, Jefferson, and Howard? Last time, is there anyone here who would like to speak on? Are you coming to speak on? Thank you. Just state your name, address, if you're for or opposed the project, and or why if you would like.
I am David Fritchen. I live on 1111 Jefferson Street, and I am opposed.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on Prospect, Harriet, Jefferson, and Howard? Going once, going twice. All right. I am now going to consider public comment for this address and location closed. We're going to move on to the next alley, which is located at Short North Douglas 10th.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This alley is in District 15. The existing surface is gravel and bituminous pavement. Been regraded in 2023. A Pacer rating is 0. The existing pavement width is 13 feet and a right-of-way of 14 feet. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 0% opposed. In the last public hearing date, there was no public hearing for this alley.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Short North Douglas 10th? Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Short North Douglas 10th? For the third and final time, is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on the alley improvements for Short North Douglas 10th? I now will consider public comments for this location closed, and we now are going to move on to Victory 16th Grove West Boulevard.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This alley is in District 13. The existing surface is concrete with a Pacer rating of 1. The existing pavement width is 13 feet and a right-of-way of 14 feet. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 13.85% opposed, and there has been no public hearing to date on this alley.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Victory 16th Grove West Boulevard? Again, is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Victory 16th Grove West Boulevard? And the third and final time, is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Victory 16th Grove West Boulevard? Considering that there is no one to speak on that, I am going to now close public comment for this location, and we are now going to move on to Walton, Laird, Geneva, and LaSalle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in excuse me. This is in District 5. The existing surface is bituminous, placed in 1981. Pacer rating is 1. The existing pavement width is 14 feet and a right-of-way of 15 feet. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 0% opposed, and the last public hearing date was in 2024.
Thank you.
This is the north-south. This is the on the east side. It'd be the north-south portion.
Is there anyone tonight that would like to speak on Walton, Laird, Geneva, LaSalle? Yes, please step forward. State your name, address, opposition, or for, reason why if you would like.
Paul Omeg, 1201 Laird Avenue. I'm opposed to the price. And the reason why is I've got 300 square feet. I've had an estimate done. I've got 2.7 yards of cement. That's $500. A tear out of $1,000 and laying cement of $1,000. That's $2,500. I've got a bill for $4,800. I'm a little confused at the difference there because as the city, you should be having a much better buying power than myself. So I guess I'd like to see the breakdown of the cost of that, which we haven't been provided. Second of all, the only small section of that alley that needs to be repaired. The rest of it'll need repairing in a couple of years. But I think what we're, you're showing these projections of inflation going up and up and up. I've been in finance for 40 years. 6 months from now, we're going to be in a recession. Another 6 months, probably a depression. You'll be able to have the work done a whole lot cheaper a year from now. That's about all I got to say.
Thank you. Please step forward. Your name, address, and if you are for or opposed to the
My
project.
name is Paul Slomsky. I live at 2322 Geneva Street. He is my next door neighbor, and I am also opposed. Thank you.
Is there anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on Walton, Laird, Geneva, and LaSalle? Anyone else here would like to speak on Walton, Laird, Geneva, and LaSalle? And for the final time, is there anyone else who would like to speak on Walton, Laird, Geneva, LaSalle? I am now going to close public comment for this location, and we are now going to talk about alley east-west, Walton, Laird, Geneva, LaSalle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is, again, in District Number 5. The existing surface is bituminous from 1981, pacer rating of 3. The existing pavement width is 18 foot and a 19-foot right-of-way. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $163 a front foot. This is a staff recommendation. 0% are currently opposed, and there's never been a public hearing on this particular alley, Madam Chair. Oh, one more thing. This is the east-west portion.
All right, is there anyone who would like to speak on the east-west portion of Walton, Laird, Geneva, LaSalle? This is the first public hearing. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on the east-west portion of Walton, Laird, Geneva, and LaSalle? Last call. Yes, sir.
You may have. Is he on the north or the east-west section? We'll make sure we record it.
We'll record it for both sections so that it's smooth. All right. I understand. All right. Final call for anyone who's interested in speaking on either side of Walton, Laird, Geneva, LaSalle. Seeing none, we are going to now close the comment section for that location, and we are now going to discuss the north-south alley of 15th Washington, Grange, and Fleet.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in District Number 9. The existing surface is bituminous, paved in 1978. Has a pacer rating of 1. The existing pavement width is 14 foot and a right-of-way of 15 foot. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 23.80% opposed and 15.24% in favor, and this alley has not had a public hearing.
Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on the north-south version of 15th Washington, Grange, and Fleet? First public hearing. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on north-south 15th Washington, Grange, and Fleet alley improvements? Final call for alley improvements for north-south 15th Washington, Grange, and Fleet. Seeing no one, we are now going to close public comment for that location and move on to alley north-south 15th Wright, Hayes, and Grove.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is again in District 9. The existing surface is bituminous from 1977, has a Pacer rating of 3. The existing pavement width is 14 feet and a right-of-way of 15 feet. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 0% opposed, and this again has not had a public hearing.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on north-south 15th Wright, Hayes, Grove? Please state your name, address, and your position.
Good evening. Mark Kashadi, 1419 Hayes Avenue. I am against, if you bring that big one back up, you can actually see the only problem with the entire alley surface is one hole about that big that is right about a third of the way in. You can actually see it. So other than that, that alley's fine. The east-west has got holes in it that you could lose a tire in, but my alley I'm like, who's coming up with these? There's literally nothing wrong with the alley except that one little spot. And I'll be honest with you, after a 26% increase in property tax, to get hit with $5,600 for a couple squares of unneeded concrete? No, I am dead set against it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on north-south? Please step forward, your name, address, and your position.
Bob Hutton, 2717 Wright Avenue. I think I'm in the right alley, right? I'm not?
There's two, so there's a few of the right alleys, but
Oh, there are?
yes, sir, yes.
Do you want me to speak now, or?
You can speak now. We will put your address against to the right alley.
All right, that's great. Because I'm in favor of improvements. I do have a comment. The condition of that alley has degraded considerably in the last couple of years. Chunks of blacktop as big as saucers and smaller that are just waiting for vandals to come along and use them for weapons, I think.
Could you repeat your address one more time?
717 Wright Avenue.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on 15th Wright, Hayes, Grove, north-south? Going once, going twice. We are now going to close the public comments for alley north-south, 15th Wright, Hayes, and Grove, and we now are going to move to alley east-west, 15th Wright, Hayes, and Grove.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is also in District 9. Existing surfaces bituminous, built in 1977 with a Pacer rating of 1. The existing pavement width is 14 feet and a right-of-way of 15 feet. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 10.87% opposed. And again, we have no public hearing date for this alley.
Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on the improvements, proposed improvements for alley east-west, 15th Wright, Hayes, Grove? Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on east-west, 15th Wright, Hayes, Grove? Last time, Is there anyone who would like to speak on East-West 15th Right, Hayes Grove? Seeing none, we are now going to close public comments for that location and move on to Alley North-South 15th Right, Thurston and Grange.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in District 9. The existing surface is bituminous pavement built in 1978 with a Pacer rating of 1. The existing pavement width is 14 feet and a 15-foot right-of-way. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement, and it's $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 7.14% opposed, and there has been no public hearing to date on this alley.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Alley North-South 15th Right? Please step forward. The first person, I see a few hands, all right. The first person, state your name, address, and your position.
Good evening. My name is Callan Maru. I live at 1441 Thurston Avenue, and I am opposed not only for cost reasons, but because my property does not benefit from this in any way. I don't have access to this alley. My garage is facing away from it. So it could probably use the work, but I can't afford to pay over $5,000 for something that isn't going to help my household. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person who would like to speak.
Hi. My name is Gloria Maru. I live at 1441 Thurston. I'm opposed. My driveway does not connect to the alley, and we can't afford this. Thank you.
Next.
My name is Tim Hughes. I'm opposed. I live at 1532 Grange Avenue. And like these people here, I don't use the alley. I have street access. The only thing that goes out in the alley is my garbage. I have never drove a car down that alley, and I don't see why I should have to pay over $5,000 to look at something through my fence. Thank you.
State your name, address, and your position.
My name's Al Muslek, 1516 Thurston. I hope I have the right one. I have taken the time to take pictures all the way down the alley. And on the south end of that alley, for the first 50 feet, there's some work to be done. But from there on, there is hardly any cracks or anything wrong. I have a 40 by 7 foot part of that alley. That's 280 square feet. My assessment is over $5,400. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with where it's just as good as it was. The other 250 some feet is fine. There's no reason to replace the entire alley. I don't know why, you know, it's like on a city block, if you have 2 pieces of concrete cracked and fallen apart and a hazard to pedestrians, you don't replace the concrete all the way down the block and make a whole new sidewalk. You replace those 2 sections. The concrete can be cut, that part can be replaced at a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the time. And the cost is another issue. A private contractor can do this cheaper. And again, like the other gentleman said, that's just me. That's not the city of Racine with all this work to offer some kind of a discount or something. I don't know where the prices are coming from. And one thing I would like to get, whether it's approved or not, is I'd like to get a cost breakdown on who's doing it and how much it's costing for labor and how much for materials. Because I've had my concrete driveway done, and it's a half the length of this alley, both of them together, and it would have been just about 3 times what this is costing for just my little section of 280 square feet. So I'm not sure, like the other gentleman, where the prices are coming from, but this is, again, another expense. Taxes have gone up significantly, it's just more than you can handle at a certain time, especially when it's not necessary. And if you want these pictures, I'll be glad to leave them with you.
You can give the pictures to Kendra Hipshin, and if you have additional questions or you need, if you would like a breakdown or additional information, you can always reach out to your alderman, and your alderman is Alderman Allen.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on Alley North South, 15th Right and Thurston Grange? Anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on North South 15th Right Thurston Grange? Anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on North South 15th Right Thurston and Grange? Seeing none, we're going to close public comments for that location and move on to Alley East West 15th Right Thurston and Grange.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, and this alley is in District 9. The existing surface is bituminous, paved in 1978 with a Pacer rating of 3. The existing pavement width is 14 foot and a right-of-way of 15 foot. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 0% opposed. And again, we have no public hearing date for this alley.
Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak for the first time at the public hearing of Alley East West 15th Right Thurston and Grange? Anyone here that would like to speak to Alley East West 15th Right Thurston and Grange? Last time, is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak to Alley East West 15th Right Thurston and Grange alley improvements? Seeing none, we are going to close public comments for that location and move on to Alley North South 16th 15th Hayes and Grove. Is there? Oh,
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in District 9. The existing surface is a bituminous pavement and built in 1969. Pacer rating of 1. The existing pavement width is 14 foot and a right-of-way of 15 foot. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 16.67% opposed, and we have not had a public hearing for this alley.
is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Alley North South 16th 15th Hayes Grove? Please step to the podium, state your name, address, and your opposition or your position.
My name is Mark Duncanson. I live at 1500 Grove Avenue, and I'm like some of the other folks here. My access is on 15th Street. Never used the alley, never have. The other question I guess I had was, when they put these alleys in, do they perform any regular type maintenance every few years? Or is that something that they just put in and then when the life's up, we replace it?
I'm going to let Ron.
Well, once it's paved, it should last at least 25 years. So we wouldn't plan on doing any maintenance on it after, we have 7 inches of concrete pavement poured for the whole alley. So, and as it stands right now, we don't do a whole lot of maintenance in alleys as it is because A, we don't have the budget, B, we don't have the equipment, and C, we don't have the personnel.
When did that go in, sir? When did they say it went in?
Oh, it was 1978. Oh, I'm sorry, 1969.
1969. I've been there 38 years, and nobody's done anything to it in 38 years. So if it went in 69, you're looking at 58 years since they looked at it.
Well, we have never had a public hearing on this one, so we've actually we've not maintained it. And we've just recently done a full evaluation over, I think, the last 2 or 3 years. We did a full evaluation on all of our alleys because Public Works doesn't have the equipment or men or budget to actually maintain all of the alleys that we have in the city. So this is the mechanism by which we're bringing forward these improvements.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Please step forward. Please state your name, address, and your position.
My name is Laura Gelat, 1504 Grove, and I am opposed to the proposal as presented. Several people have already spoken to the affordability issue in which we find ourselves, and even spread out over 10 years. An extra $500 or so at 6% is going to be a real hardship on a number of people. Secondly, if I understood correctly, something that was said at the beginning of the meeting, the bids are going to be put out next year. So we don't really know yet if this $5,400 is the price we're going to be assessed. Am I correct in that?
So what you saw in the letter you received will be the maximum amount you would pay. So no, we have not bid the projects out yet. When that project is complete, we will reevaluate what that number is. If it comes in over what's on your letter, the city will then kick in that amount.
Okay.
If it's below that amount, then you're only going to get charged for what it costs.
Okay, well, thank you for that clarification. And my next question is, even at, let's say that this comes in at a lower price, is whatever cost is being spent divided between the city and the homeowner, or are we as homeowners pay everything up to $5,400 and then the city only kicks in if it exceeds $5,400?
You pay the amount that is adjacent to your front footage. So you're paying essentially for half the alley for the length of your lot, whether it's 40 feet, 50
Right.
feet, what have you.
Right.
But if it, like we said, if it goes over that 5,400 that was in your letter, the city pays for that overage.
Okay.
If it's below, then
Then
you.
then it's us, rather
Correct.
than a percentage shared by the city. Okay, so those were my questions, thank you. And I am Mark Duncanson's next door neighbor. We've been there both 38 years, and I can attest, he doesn't use that alley. His driveway goes right out onto 15th Street. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, please step to the podium, state your name, address, and your position.
Eileen 08 Grove Avenue. I oppose. I have to get a new roof on my house. I'm a single person. I haven't had a good job my whole life. I finally got a decent one. I don't know where I'm supposed to pull that money from. And now you want to charge us, this much for the alleys? It's ridiculous. And we've called. I've been there 22 years. We've called and said, hey, can you just patch this hole up? Once in the 20 patched a hole. Got to the point where my neighbor Laura bought her own stuff and patched the hole that was in front of her driveway. So we even asked them to do it. And it says on that paper that they can't afford to maintain it. They never did. All they had to do was fill in the potholes. You've got a rental property down that has all huge gravel driveway, which just chews up the whole alley. There's rocks from that 6-car parking area. So I oppose.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on Alley North-South, 16th, 15th, Hayes and Grove? Going once, going twice. Is there anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on Alley North-South, 16th, 15th, Hayes Grove? Seeing none, we are going to close public comments for that location and move on to Alley North-South, 16th, 15th, and Villa Park.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in District Number 2. The existing surface is concrete pavement, built in 1940, has a PACER rating of 3. The existing pavement width is 16 foot and a right-of-way of 20 foot. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $163 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 0% opposed. And once again, there has not been a public hearing on this alley.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Alley North South 1615 Villa Park? Please step forward, state your name, address, and your position.
Emily McAllister. I'm at 1504 Park Avenue. I am vehemently opposed to this because at 10 easy payments of $657.40 over 10 payments, I end up paying almost $12,000 for this improvement. That's nuts. I can't afford that. Nobody can afford that. My neighbor spoke earlier, and he can't afford that either. It's craziness. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on Alley North South 16th, 15th Villa Park? Going once, going twice. Is there anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on Alley North South 16th, 15th Villa Park? Seeing none, I'm going to close public comment for that location and move on to Alley East West 16th, 15th Villa Park.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is also District 2. The existing surface is concrete pavement built in 1940. PACER rating is 1. The existing pavement width is 10 feet and an 11-foot right-of-way. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We have 0% opposed currently. And once again, this has not been up for public hearing.
Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Alley East West 1615 Villa Park? Anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Alley East West 16th, 15th Villa Park? Last call for anyone willing to speak on Alley East West 16th, 15th Villa Park. Seeing none, we're going to close public comment for that location and move on to Alley North South 17th, 16th Grange Fleet.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in District Number 9. The existing surface is bituminous, paved in 1978 with a PACER rating of 1. The existing pavement width is 14 feet and a 15-foot right-of-way. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is a staff recommendation. We currently have 3.99% opposed. And we have there has been no public hearing for this alley.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Alley North South 17th, 16th Grange Fleet? Anyone here that would like to speak on North South 17th, 16th Grange Fleet? Please step forward, state your name, address, and your position.
Ray Santos Jr. I'm at 2615 16th Street. So I oppose. So.
Opposed? Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on Alley North South 17th, 16th Grange Fleet? This is the first public hearing for that. Going once, going twice. Last time call. Is there anyone that would like to speak on Alley North South 17th, 16th Grange Fleet? Seeing none, public comments for that location is closed. And now we're going to move on Alley Southwest, Northeast, Clarence, Carmel, Chicago, Carmel.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in District 6. The existing surface is bituminous pavement paved in 1982 with a PACER rating of 3. The existing pavement width is 14 feet and a right-of-way of 15 feet. The improvement is Portland cement. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is an alderman recommendation. This is currently 9.41% are opposed to the project. And once again, we have no public hearing prior to today.
Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on the alley southwest, northeast clearance, Carmel, Chicago, Carmel? Please step forward, state your name, address, and your position.
Hi, Dennis Schenkenberg, 2136 Clarence Avenue, and I am opposed.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on southwest, northeast clearance, Carmel, Chicago, Carmel? Going once, going twice. Final call for anyone that would like to speak on alley southwest, northeast clearance, Carmel, Chicago, Carmel. Seeing none, we are going to close public comments for that location and move on to alley north, south, 16th, 15th, Thurston Grange.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in District Number 13. The existing surface is bituminous pavement built in 1978 with a PASA rating of 1. The existing pavement width is 14 feet in a right-of-way of 15 feet. Proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is also an aldermanic recommendation. We currently have 4.4% in favor of the project, and the last public hearing date was 2024. Madam Chair.
Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on alley north-south, 1615 Thurston Grange? Anyone here tonight that would like to speak on north-south, 1615 Thurston Grange? Please step forward, state your name, address, and your position.
25 Thurston. I want to speak on the.
We do have another Thurston, but we'll link your comments with the correct one.
Okay. My name is Caroline. I'm the property owner at 1525 Thurston Avenue for almost 10 years now. I'm a resident taxpayer. I'm a single provider for my son. I'm opposed to this 100%. This $6,000 alley assessment is not just a number to me, it's a disruption to a very carefully balanced life. My property taxes already increased by $1,200 this year. And it just feels overwhelming, and I'm totally opposed by it, so thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on north-south 1615 Thurston Grange location? Going once, going twice. Final call for anyone that would like to speak on alley improvements for north-south 1615 Thurston Grange. Seeing none, comments for that location are closed. We are now going to move on to alley north-south 1615 Quincy and Thurston.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is also in District Number 13. The existing surface is bituminous, paved in 1940, PASA rating of 3. The existing pavement width is 14 feet in a right-of-way of 15 feet. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is an aldermanic recommendation. 4.32% are currently opposed to the project, and this has not been up for public hearing.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on north-south 1615 Quincy and Thurston? Anyone here tonight that would like to speak on north-south 16th, 15th Quincy, Thurston? Final call for public comments on north-south 16th, 15th Quincy, Thurston. Seeing none, comments for this location are closed. We are now going to move on to alley east-west, Thor, Carmel, Belmont, and Graham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in District 6. The existing surface is bituminous, built in 1975 at a PASA rating of 3. The existing pavement width is 14 feet in a 15-foot right-of-way. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 a front foot. This is an aldermanic recommendation. We currently have 5.5% opposed, and once again, this has not been up for public hearing.
Thank you. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on Alley East-West? Please step forward, state your name, address, and your position.
Hello, Austin Waters, 2418 Thor Ave. I'm opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on East-West Thor Carmel Belmont Graham? Going once, going twice. Is there anyone who would like to speak on alley improvements for East-West Thor Carmel Belmont Graham? Seeing none, public comments for this location are closed, and we are now going to move on to alley East-West Thor Carmel Graham, Chicago.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is also in District 6. The existing surface is bituminous, paved in 1942 with a PASER rating of 4. Existing pavement width is 14 feet and a 15-foot right-of-way. The proposed improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is an aldermanic recommendation. We currently have 7.14% opposed to the project. Last public hearing date, there was no public hearing date until now.
Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on East-West Thor Carmel Graham, Chicago? Anyone here tonight that would like to speak on alley improvements for East-West Thor Carmel Graham, Chicago? Final call for anyone. Alder Widener?
Widener.
You could have stayed in your seat. Okay, please,
No.
please,
No.
please state your name, address, and your position for this location.
My name is Sandy Widener. I live at 2310 Thor Avenue, which I have for over 30 years. I did request to have this alley brought for public hearing. I did not think that I was going to be serving on the Public Works Committee, and I was hoping to have the opportunity to make the remarks that I intend to make tonight. I received this letter, and my assessment would be $10,880. So if I did the math based on 20 houses on Thor, 20 houses on Carmel Avenue, we are looking at a replacement of my alley of over $260,000 to $300,000 for one. I'm hoping that as a member of this committee, and that this committee will be open to considering other options for repair of alley. My whole alley does not need to be torn up and replaced. There are just sections of potholes. I've had the same potholes in my alley in front of my driveway and in front of my garage for 30 years. They are getting deeper, and they are getting wider, and they are strewing gravel around now in the alley. But I would like the opportunity to either have asphalt for an alley that would last just as long as the alley that I have. I would also like the opportunity to be able to, as some people here had mentioned earlier, to have a private contractor come in and cut out the bad sections of the alley and replace just those potholes rather than replace the whole alley. So I'm hoping that this committee will at some point consider, if they're not going to agree to go back to maintaining alleys like we had prior to maybe 2008, at least look at other options so that we don't have to bring people in so they have to beg us to not charge us more. I had a property tax increase this year of almost $1,000, and if I look at a $10,880 assessment for my portion of the alley going forward, it's just unaffordable. I mean, that's half my income for a year. So I'm speaking against this, and I also want to say I've got my work cut out for me. I've got to take petitions around 4 different alleys, because I did think that we would have heard from more people, either in support of or opposed to this alley once they got these letters. So one last thing I would like to clarify for the people that are here. It was mentioned earlier that the committee would be taking up these assessments, these alleys, in 2 weeks. It's actually in 4. Because
Thank you, Alder Widener.
because they have 2 weeks in which to get in any opposition or support. So it's 4 weeks, not 2, when we'll be discussing and making recommendations regarding repaving your alleys.
Thank you. I am going to turn the mic over to John Rooney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Both the items from tonight's public hearing and the one from 2 weeks ago on street improvements will be at the next Public Works and Services Committee. Those will both be introduced at Common Council next Tuesday to be referred to the following Public Works and Services Committee. Comments for these items close a week from Friday. So by law, 10 days, we'll have the data for the committee to consider for tonight's public hearing, and we already have it compiled for the last public hearing. So we'll do both
Well,
of
thank
them.
you for clarifying that, John.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Director Rooney. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on Alley East-West and Thor, Carmel, Graham, Chicago? Going once, going twice. Seeing none, we are going to close public comment for this location and move on to Alley North, South, Walton, Laird, Charles, Geneva.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is in District Number 5, and the existing surface is concrete pavement built in 1941 with a PACER rating of 1. The existing pavement width is 13 feet in a 14-foot right-of-way. The improvement is Portland cement concrete pavement at $136 per front foot. This is an aldermanic recommendation. We currently have 30.79% opposed to the improvement, and the last public hearing date was 2024.
Thank you. The last location that we are going to discuss at this public hearing, is there anyone that would like to speak on Alley North South, Walton, Laird, Charles, Geneva? Is there anyone here? Please step forward to the podium, state your name, address, and your position.
My name is David Teddy II, and I'm the property owner at 1216 Walton Avenue. I'm definitely opposed to this. My assessment was for $13,000, and over 10 years, even without interest, that would, be $1,300? I don't know if you said you were charging interest for this. Is that correct?
Can you repeat your question, sir?
So if it was broken up, if this cost was broken up over 10 years, did that have the 6% interest you were talking about? Yeah,
Yes, sir.
So it would at least be $1,300 increase every year without that interest. So I'm definitely opposed. So the amount I was proposed, this is only for the north and south, not for the east and west? Is east and west not here at all? I think that's quite a bit just for my stretch.
Just for this stretch.
Okay, yeah, that's even crazier than I thought, because I thought the proposed was going to be for east, west, and north and south. East and west is just fine. Let's see. Yeah, I just can't afford this. My taxes went up $400 this year alone anyway, so yeah, I'm opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on Alley North South, Walton, Laird, Charles, Geneva? Going once, going twice. Is there anyone else here tonight that would like to speak on Alley North South, Walton, Laird, Charles, Geneva? Seeing none, we're going to close public comments for this location. This completes our public hearing for tonight. Thank you everyone who spoke and came out. This public hearing is now adjourned, and we are going to take a 5-minute break before our next public hearing meeting starts. Thank you.
Oh, nothing.
All right. It is now the hour of 6:35, and we are going to start our Public Works and Services Committee meeting and calling the meeting to order. All right, first item of business is approval of minutes for the April 28th, 2026 meeting. We have a motion made by Alder Capone. Is there a second? Alder Widener has seconded the motion. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Finding no opposed, we are now going to move on to our core agenda. I am going to, if there are no oppositions, move item number 0893-25 to be first. This is a communication by Alder Land asking that the yield sign on Monroe Avenue and Victory Avenue be replaced with a stop sign and adopting ordinance 0011-25 to reflect the change as attached. The staff recommendation was to send it back to the committee, and on 5/12/26 it was denied. There's no fiscal note with this. We do have Alder Allen here that would like to speak on it. I apologize. Alder Land who would like to speak on it.
The date that I had this approved was October 14th of 2025. I came to the Public Works Committee, some of you were there and you remember it well. We talked about the need for a stop sign by Sobra Park because there's always a lot of accidents there. I think at the time there was maybe a record of 14 accidents, if I remember correctly, and the committee decided to go with me and recommended putting a stop sign there. And at that time I was told that it would be after the leaf and snow collection. Well, then we're here now and there's 2 more accidents there and there's no stop sign. Well, when I contacted DPW, they said, Ron said that there was no order for a stop sign for there. So in trying to dig this up, what I was told was that it did go to the Common Council, which I was at that meeting. I have no recollection of it being brought out for separate consideration. And so I thought it went through on the consent agenda. And then I was told that 2 alders sent it back and they don't have any recollection of sending it back either. I talked to them both. And then it just kind of died in committee again. So what I'm asking for is to have this approval again so that we can, it was not added to the legislative file, which created confusion during the Common Council consideration on October 21st of 2025. So I would like for the committee to consider putting that stop sign there again to keep our children safe at Solbra Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Alder Land. Are there any questions, concerns, discussion for this item? Alder Widener.
Thank you. I think the city attorney is looking up either that council meeting or the ordinance. So I think we can maybe get from our.
So this committee recommended approval of this proposed ordinance 14. Common Council referred it back to the committee. And that's the only thing that's happened.
That's what I remember. I remember it coming before this committee, it being approved, it going to Common Council, and then it was referred back. But I don't remember why it was referred back, if there was additional questions, if it seemed like it was out of place. Alder Land has her hand up for
Okay,
comments.
this is what I got from Tara, that it was inadvertently, however, the staff recommendation from that meeting was inadvertently not added to the legislative file, which created confusion during the Common Council consideration on October 21st. And she was not present to clarify the meeting. It got referred back to the committee.
Now it's before us to consider it.
Move to approve the stop sign.
We have a motion to approve. We have a second.
Respectfully.
Hold on.
The request is that an ordinance be adopted. The stop sign would be a part of the ordinance being adopted, so I'd suggest the motion be to approve the ordinance.
I said that. Move to adopt the ordinance 11-25.
All right, we have a motion to adopt ordinance 0011-25, and we have a second with Alder Papone. All in favor, please say aye.
Discussion.
Additional discussion? Yes.
So I have a question for staff because I see there's a denial in this staff recommendation. Can you maybe clarify why there is a recommendation to deny that stop sign?
Clarify why staff made a recommendation? Because no warrants were met for that additional traffic control at that intersection. So the city engineer completed a study on December 12th, 2024. I believe it was sent to the alder who requested it. If you want me to go through it, it's about a page and a half long, but there are 4 warrants that are required to meet four-way stop control, and none of the 4 were met, and the date is on the memo. So that's the reason it was recommended to not be approved by staff.
John, many of the members of this committee are new, so they would probably appreciate understanding why we would have a staff recommendation. And a staff recommendation is important. So if we're going to vote either in support of the motion to approve, or if we're going to vote to uphold the staff recommendation, we should at least know what the staff recommendation is. I understand thoroughly the argument that the alder of the district is making and support her request, but I would also like for us all to understand the reasons for, the rationale for the staff recommendation.
I mean, I could give you a 1-minute Reader's Digest version of what it is that we do. When a request for traffic control comes into the city engineer's office and it's made by an alder, the city engineer will cause that a study be done, okay? The study's done, we look at various data points, traffic volume, if we need to look at speeds, line of sight, all the factors that we looked at are required to do the study. All those requirements are outlined in something called the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, known as the MUTCD by engineers. It is a publication by the Federal Highway Administration that all states adopt. So there's uniform traffic control no matter where you drive throughout the United States. You should expect to somewhat see similar things, and not something that's out of the ordinary. Those are the warrants that we follow. In the case of an all-way stop sign, specifically, the 4 ordinances, or the 4 warrants, one of these needs to be met. It's at the intersection of 2 major arterial streets. Neither street is an arterial street. So arterial street is there's highways, there's arterials, there's collectors, and there are locals. It's functional classification, not met. Accident problem, as indicated by 5 or more reported accidents of the type susceptible of correction by a 4-way stop installation, less restrictive device should be used. There was no type of accidents that were correctable by traffic control. And there's a big difference between an accident and a correctable accident. Driving too fast for conditions, not a correctable accident. Drunk driving, not a correctable accident. Distracted driving, not a correctable accident. So we have to sift out what accidents are correctable and which ones are not. So we got the data. There were no correctable accidents at this location. The third warrant, when following traffic volume warrants are met, the total volume must average at least 500 vehicles per hour. That's per hour for any 8 hours of an average day, and the combined vehicular and pedestrian volume from the minor street must average at least 200 per hour in the same 8 hours. That's a lot of traffic. So you think of that, the actual amount of traffic that goes through this intersection on a day as measured by traffic counters is just over 1,000 for an entire 24-hour period. There's about 200 vehicles going on Monroe, east-west, north-south, and about 800 vehicles a day going east-west on Victory. So that warrant wasn't met either. The last warrant doesn't apply here. Intersection of major rural highways exhibiting low traffic volumes and high speeds or low volume urban intersections have highly restricted visibility. There was no visibility issues at this intersection either. So they weren't warranted per the engineering study, so we don't make that recommendation. And we have to, we're professional engineers, we're licensed by the state, this is what we do. If a political body wants to make a decision on doing something else, that's their prerogative. We don't make our recommendations based on whether somebody wants something or not. We make a recommendation whether it's warranted or not. I hope that helps.
Thank you, John.
Alder Weiner, do you have any other question? All right, thank you. Alder Land.
Yes, the communication for October 14th was not for a four-way stop sign. It was for a stop sign on Monroe Avenue.
Thank you for that clarification. All right, I do see some hands up for committee members. I am going to call Alder Allen first and then Alder DeMark after Alder Allen.
So I appreciated that overview because it was explained to me last year when I was asking similar questions. And while I do believe in leaning into the experts that we do hire, I also recognize that we do, as the political body that you referred to, we do have to answer to the city. What they ask for, sometimes, a stop sign is not that much to ask for. If it's going to be, whether you want to sign it to optics or however they feel more safe in their area, we're at a point now in the city where, again, it's just, we heard it over and over in our public hearing, where people are being asked in the city to pay an exorbitant amount of taxes. And whenever we can give them something, to make them feel like they're being heard, that is not going to strap us, I don't feel that's going to be a problem. And it's not going to, in that space where we're talking about, adding a stop sign is not going to interrupt the flow of traffic. So that it's not going to do that. So at some point, while we appreciate some of what your department does, there has to be a partnership between what you do and what our city is asking for. And I think it is something that we were going to talk about before, or at some point, where we just actually sit down and have a real conversation about what this city looks like now, as opposed to when some of these policies and practices went into place, and see how we can kind of bring them to the now and help our city, the people who pay the taxes here, feel again as if they're being heard, respected, and appreciated for the amount of money that we're asking them to pay.
I just wanted to know, how much is it to just change out a yield to a stop sign?
Oh, the cost is quite insignificant when you look at the size of the city's budget. It's labor, a vehicle to go out there and switch out the sign. So it's probably it's maybe $200 if I could throw a number up off the top of my head. So it's not a budget issue. I just want to remind the alders, we do these studies as engineers without passion or prejudice for whoever the requester is, whether it's an alder or it's a constituent or it's a group of people. And we have to be consistent in what we do as professional engineers that are licensed by the state to do what we do. It is this body that can make those decisions if they want to do something other than what is recommended. So I don't want us to be put in the position that we are somehow obstructionist to what the alders would like to see done as it relates to traffic control. That is your decision. We sleep good at night regardless of what you elect to do or not to do, but we are always going to remain consistent. We're going to perform the study, and however the study bears out, that's what we'll report out.
The other question I was going to ask is there any way that we can get through email, if it's a website or if it's a PDF, for that study?
Oh, the study that was performed by absolutely, we could email this to the committee members. Yeah. We'll send that out tomorrow.
Alder Land.
Yes, I'm sure you all received an email from the constituent, because I know she just emailed me again to report there's just another accident a few minutes ago. Just want to let you know.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? We do have a motion on the floor and a second to adopt ordinance 0011-25. We are going to roll call your votes. All right. Alder Papone. Alder Widener.
Aye.
Alder Allen. Alder DeMark. All right. This motion passed, and it will move forward to Common Council. Thank you, Alder Land. All right, now moving on to item 0350-26, communication sponsored by Alder Papone, submitting bid results for contract 10141535- Phase 3, Transit Center renovations and repairs. That contract 10141535 was to be awarded to Bergland Construction Company in the amount of $825,000, along with alternate bids 1 through 5 in the amount of $221,000, for a total of $1.46 million, they being the lowest responsible bidder. Do we have any recommendations? We have a motion to approve. Is there a second? We have a second by Alder DeMark. Any comments, questions, or concerns? Alder Widener.
Thank you. Just a question. I kind of looked this over and I choked on the $20,000 for two of the downspouts or for that project. Was that the one?
Transit Mobility Director is here to address this item.
Thank you,
Here
members
for
of
a
the
reason.
committee. Madam Chair, we have our chief engineer for the project, Christopher White from R.A. Smith, who can identify those types of costs for you. Chris?
Thank you, Director Young.
That'd be great. And can we also kind of get a history? This is phase 3. So do we have an idea what we've spent thus far with phase 1 and 2?
Approximately $1 million. So we were awarded a state grant for this, so 80% of the cost will be covered by the state DOT. So this will make the total of the project, phase 1 through 3, about $2 million.
This is the final phase?
The rest of the work will be basic maintenance. This is about making sure we get water out of the basement, primarily.
Thank you.
Chris White with R.A. Smith, 16745 West Blue Mountain Road in Brookfield, Wisconsin. So the two downspouts that you picked out, what's happening is there's an upper roof and a lower roof, and I don't have the history of the project, but at some point someone took off a bunch of gutters. And so these gutters those two are special because they actually take the runoff from the upper roof and send it through the building to the ground level. And so there's a portion that needs to go through the building, and that's trickier than just regular gutters on the side of the building. So, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You stayed. I don't have any other.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, fiscal note funding is available. We do have a motion. Are there any other questions by any of the committee members? All right, all in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Finding none, this motion has been approved. Now we're going to look at item 0355-26, communication sponsored by Alder Harmon, submitting bid results for contract 2026012, Concrete Street Reconstruction. The contract, Concrete Street Reconstruction, was to be awarded to Lalonde Contractors, Inc., in the amount of $256.24. That is in millions. Funding is available. Are there any recommendations from the committee?
I would like, for the public record, overview of what this project is.
Pardon? Can you repeat
An
the question?
overview of the project. Can you just kind of give us a brief summary of what this project is?
Oh, an overview of the project?
Project.
Yeah, we have a couple streets that are going to be rebuilt in Portland cement concrete pavement. One of them is the road that goes down to Park High School off of Washington Avenue that goes down to the oval about. There's another section, I believe it's like the Shelley Drive neighborhood over there. I don't have the exact streets. I believe this Harvey, Shelley, and whatever the name of the one is that goes down the hill there. Valley View or something like that. So I think it's three projects that are wrapped into one contract, 3 paving projects.
All the funding for this is coming from where, John? Is it all?
All the funding is shown on the memo, so it's coming out of GOB for paving, out of storm sewers. There's also money in the stormwater utility budget to pay for those pavements above those storm sewers. There's sanitary sewer work that needs to be done in the project, and there's a lot of that. And there's money in the sanitary sewer maintenance fund designated for paving to pay for those pavements above those sewers as well. So those are the 5 funding sources for this project. Some GOB, some special revenue, some enterprise funds.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Approve. Or do we do that already?
Are there any other questions? All right. We do have a motion by Alder Widener to approve, and it was motion second by Alder Papone. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion approved. Moving on to item 0356-26, communication sponsored by Alder Harmon, submitting bid results for contract 2026044-2026, multi-site tuck pointing. Staff recommendation that contract 2026044-2026 multi-site tuck pointing be awarded to Tiger Restoration in the amount of $765,000 and alternate 6 and 7 of $45,500 for a total of $810,500, they being the lowest responsive bidder. Funding is available in the following objects: 405-040-57200. Are there any questions or comments with regards to this item? Anyone? All right, we have a motion to approve by Alder Papone. We have a second by Alder DeMarc. All in favor, please by saying aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, this motion passes. We're going to move on to item 0357-26, communication sponsored by Alder Harmon, requesting approval of a parking management contract with ABM Industry Group for managing City of Racine parking services, including metering services, ramp, service lot management. The contract to be approved in the not to exceed amount of $582,461.52. That's the staff recommendation. Fiscal note funds to defray the cost of this contract are available in account 60383-52200, contracted services. Are there any questions from the committee members or concerns? Alder Papone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not a question. I would just like if they could clarify the language there for the fiscal note. Funds to defray the cost of this contract are available in the account. We get clarification on that for anyone that might not know what the defray means.
I will let John Rooney speak on that.
The question of where the funding is for this account?
Oh, just
Why
to,
does it need to be defrayed?
right, correct. What does it mean when it says funds to defray the cost of this contract are available?
Funds to defray the cost of that's just a term that's used in a lot of memos, to defray or to pay for, if you will, this contract. This is being paid for out of the enterprise fund for the parking system.
I just wanted to make sure in case anyone didn't know. Thank you.
Yep.
Good question. Are there any other questions with regards to this item? Alder Whitener.
Thank you. For the new members of the committee, I'd like a brief history of how we came to contracting out our parking management.
So the parking system is an enterprise system, so it's paid for by those users that use the system. If it's not fully paid for, then obviously it needs GOB support, but ideally it should be a break-even operation. The city of Racine used to have employees that manage the parking system, several. So there's a lot of duties in the parking system, parking enforcement. There's the cost of maintaining the meters, collecting the meters, auditing the meters, depositing the coin. There is the off-street facilities as well, the parking structures that have gated revenue control. So over time, as cuts were made to DPW, the cuts were made in the parking enterprise fund. So as we started to lose employees that supported the parking enterprise fund, we started having to lean on an operator to essentially take care of the system. So it started at least 10 years ago or so, back when some of our gated revenue control systems at our parking structures had reached their useful life. They had been in service for almost 15 years. And at that time, ABM was the vendor who put the new gated facilities in, and we wrote a contract with them to just manage those, the collection of those facilities. Over more time, the parking enforcement was also then shifted from DPW over to the Racine Police Department. They use CSOs, community service officers, to collect, or not collect, but to issue citations for expired parking. They also obviously have to do other duties within the city, animal control and other things. So that went over there as well. And then the remaining cuts to the parking system, we couldn't do anything with the meters either. We couldn't maintain those. So ABM has taken on all those tasks. They take care of the maintenance of the, when I say maintenance, not construction maintenance, they clean the parking ramps, they wash them down, they pick up the litter, they wash the windows, they do the exception of landscape work, grass cutting, they do everything there at those locations now. And they also collect all the revenue from the meters right now as well. They count that, they audit it, they deposit it in the financial institution that's directed by the finance department. So this work is all being done by them as a contractor, where it used to be done by DPW staff at one time. So this may change. We are moving towards, just FYI, towards elimination of the parking meters on street. Currently, we have parking meters that are beyond their useful life. They are so old, the 2024 rates that were approved by Common Council are still not changed because they can't be upgraded with software. So we have signs out there that you can use to pay by app. So eventually, when we get through the process with the Racine Police Department and MIS, we're going to be offering pay by text and pay by app. And then part of this contract that you see in front of you will be reduced, because we will no longer need ABM to try to maintain these meters, collect these meters, count the coin, deposit it and all that. So that will be reduced because it'll be going to more of an electronic system. So this is what's before you now. We will definitely come back with an amendment to this to reduce this contract. When we make that change, we're hoping that'll be implemented on or around Labor Day. So and that was included in the 2026 budget.
Alder Allen.
Okay, so thank you again for that overview, and I just have a question then. So because we contract out for these services, does that mean that we are not able to change any of our parking policies?
No, the policy, the rates, for example, are approved by the Common Council. The Common Council, believe, for the 2025 budget at the end of 2024, approved some very necessary rate increases, which obviously we want to get the parking system at least to a break-even operation. Otherwise, it's got to be subsidized by levy. And that's not appropriate. You don't want somebody paying taxes if they don't plan to park in a parking space or a parking structure on street. So,
But on the same note, though, as we talk about increasing our foot traffic and so that we can increase our revenue and invite people to come downtown, for instance, the conversation is how do we make that more appealing to the people that live here? So having them always have to watch their watch to pay their meter, and then there's that other conversation. You know, we do have an aged community also. So when we're talking about going to smartphone pay options, I mean, I don't carry cash ever. I just use my phone. But we have an aged community where they don't. So that might present a little bit of a challenge and if you're going forward. But
if I may, we are also including, we make that change, hopefully on Labor, is to install smart parking kiosks too. For those that don't have a phone to pay by text or an app, they can go up and just put their license plate number in and pay that way as well. So that'll also be part of it as another option to pay. But
well, all that sounds really savvy, but it doesn't answer the challenge of, for instance, Kenosha doesn't have the parking, downtown for their people.
Correct.
Especially, and so people leave here and go to Kenosha and participate in their activities in Kenosha because they don't have to watch their watch and worry about when they have to pay their meter again. And I'm thinking that we need to at least find more opportunities to do that here.
Well, the problem that this Common Council has to face in that space as regards to paying for parking is Kenosha doesn't have parking structures. We do. We have 5 of them. One of them is going to be raised, but the 4 remaining ones are very expensive to maintain, and you have to keep them in a good state of repair. So that is the burden that the city of Racine has, is to maintain those parking structures. And we have 20-some surface lots as well. So there's a cost to all of that. This isn't all just about on-street parking, right? Oh, there's a parking meter, or there's a sign you can pay by app or pay by text. This is maintaining a real hard infrastructure in parking structures, which are running $20,000 per space to build. So let's say you had a 300 space parking garage, it's going to cost you $6 million to build a new one.
I'm not suggesting that we would make it without charge all the time, but especially for city-sponsored events, when we're asking our city to come downtown and participate, we have to give them something for that. Because Party on the Pavement, for instance, we want them to come down, spend the money in with our merchants downtown, without them saying, I'm not going to come down and feel like I'm being penny pinched every 2 hours for parking.
Again, that's not something that is a decision that we are making. That's a decision by the Common Council.
Right.
The Common Council voted last year to put those requests for free parking in the hands of ABM, the contractor.
And that circles back down to my
So
question. Are we not able to tell this company that we would want to not have that charge on a particular, let's just use parking.
If that
that
is
day.
something this committee and common council desire, then it would be a change to this contract that would have to come back to the common council. I'm not saying what you're suggesting is right or wrong. I'm just saying the common council voted to not make those decisions regarding free parking anymore. So.
Alder Widener.
Just a quick question. I've had several complaints regarding folks being unable to pay for their parking down by Festival Hall. A lot of veterans come down there, a lot of older people, and currently the only they pay is with the app. Have a lot of people with flip phones still. When, John, will that kiosk go in there where they can plug in their license plate number?
It'll be part of that changeover, like I said, Labor Day-ish. Is what
Labor Day-ish? Yeah.
Because that'll be, because the kiosk will be, it'll be pay by plate. And that's the way the enforcement's going to be handled now, too. So you pay for your parking, you enter your plate, you can take your parking with you. If you pay for 4 hours of parking and you want to go to West Racine for 2 hours and go downtown to shop, as long as you have paid by plate and it's entered, whether it's by kiosk, whether it's by text, whether it's by app, you can take your parking with you.
So they do that in Lake Geneva. They have that kiosk where you plug in your, yeah. So I think that would be helpful because, like I said, I've got a lot of complaints about that.
It's the most cost-effective way for us to keep maintaining revenue to the level we need to support the parking system. We did a study. We presented it to the mayor, the city administrator, finance director. Replacing these meters with on-street smart parking meters is so cost prohibitive, the revenues that we get wouldn't even pay for the capital. So we really need to find a way where we generate revenue to help pay for the parking costs, particularly the ramps.
So is ABM or is Public Works responsible for the signage regarding parking at the parking lots down at, like at the library and at Festival Hall?
ABM's responsible for the signage, correct, for putting up the pay-by-app signs. And if a meter fails and we don't have parts to replace it or can't fix it, then we put a sign up in its place.
All right, thanks. Alder DeMark.
So I'm assuming it's the same thing that Milwaukee has in the city. I believe that they got rid of it. They have the QR code now. I've had instances where I went to a Admirals game, put in my license plate, and it didn't read it. Is there a way to fix that here in Racine when that's implemented? Because if someone has put in their license plate and it didn't get read, and now they get a letter from the police department saying, hey, you didn't pay your parking meter.
Well, the way it'll work is the user is inputting their license plate number. These aren't license plate scanners when you come into park or anything. Like some facilities, they scan your plate as you go in, a gate goes up. That's not how you're going to be entering your plate, no matter which way you choose to pay, by text, by app, or at the kiosk. And then when enforcement comes by, they will check the plate numbers and see, oh, did this person enter their plate and pay by one of those 3 applications? So that's how it'll work. But that's got to go through. Scott's working on the legal end of that. Police department's working on that. Obviously, as they're part of the enforcement, MIS is involved. Again, something that we hope to roll out in 3 or 4 or 5 months or so. But yeah, it's the user. It's imperative the user put their license plate in correctly. Yes. Yeah. It's not that we'll be scanned incorrectly. Maybe it'll be checked by the license plate reader when it comes by. Yeah. And it'll be done on foot. Somebody will come by and take a picture of the plate. If it says you're paid up, they'll keep on moving. So, yeah. But we're not doing QR codes either. There's a lot of that's technology that's great, but it's also ripe for fraud. People put other QR codes on top of QR codes, and things happen in that space. So we're not going in that direction.
Any other questions with regards to item 0357-26? I will now entertain a motion.
Approve.
Alder Widener has moved to approve, multiple seconds. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion approved. Now we are going to move on to item 0336-26, communication sponsored by Alder Hartman, submitting change order number 2 to contract 2024-066-2024, sanitary sewer repairs, Genesis Excavations Incorporated. Contractor staff recommendation that the change order number 2, contract 2024-066-2024, sanitary sewer repairs, Genesis Excavators, Inc., contractors be approved in the deducted amount of $24,553.03. Funding for this change order is credited in following org objects 22640575560 sanitary sewers. Before I entertain a motion, are there any questions with regards to this item? Hearing no questions, receiving a motion to approve by Alder Widener, second by Alder DeMarc. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion approved. Moving forward to item 0337-26, communication sponsored by Alder Harmon, submitting final payment for contract 2024-066-2024 sanitary sewer repairs, Genesis Excavation, Inc., contractors. Staff recommendation that the work completed by Genesis Contractors, Inc. on contract 2024-066-2024 sanitary sewer repairs be accepted and final payment authorized for a total contract amount of $537,185.97. Contract 2024-066 was authorized under resolution number 0729-24 dated September 3rd, 2024 as the fiscal note. Before I entertain a motion, are there any questions, concerns, or issues with regards to this item?
Move to approve.
We have a motion by Alder Widener to approve, seconded by Alder Pepone. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, moving on to item 0333-26. Subject, communication sponsored by Alder Widener, Alder Harmon, and Alder DeMarc for referral to the May 12, 2026 Public Works and Services Committee regarding taxpayers' concerns of reduction in service and service hours at the Pearl Street facility. All right. With regards to this item, are there any questions?
Thank you. I'd like to introduce.
Thank you, Alder Widener. Please introduce this communication.
So I know that during the budget process, each department gets, 3 or 5 minutes to introduce their annual budget. And there's a lot of things that we don't learn during that process because there's a lot of information that's provided. I'm sure one of the things that could have been discussed but wasn't because of time constraints is that you were going to limit the hours at Pearl Street for yard waste.
It was discussed during the 5-minute presentation to the Committee of the Whole.
I said so quick.
If you'd like, I can reference the time that we started on that subject.
No, John, you don't have to do that.
But we did. It was discussed along with the potential.
Oh, I missed it, okay?
Okay. I
So
want to make sure that it wasn't glossed over or wasn't introduced. It's also, for the committee's clarification, it's also stated in the Public Works page in the budget on page 113. It's one of our 2026 strategic initiatives, and it is listed in there under number 5 for those hours of operation, Saturdays only. So it was in the budget materials that were provided to the Committee of the Whole, and was also presented in the 5-minute section of our brief, description of what the 2026 budget was about.
Well, at this point, I'm getting complaints already and concerns about dumping, and there already has been dumping. Just last week, I told Ron, coming to council meeting, there were 3 bags of yard waste that were dumped in the alley right outside my garage. So are we prepared for that kind of issue with the reduction in hours at Pearl Street?
I don't know, and I can't corroborate your claim that dumping is related to reduced hours. Dumping occurs in the city, for various reasons. We looked at the volume of traffic that came in at Pearl Street. We studied the data with the amount of traffic that came in there. We believe we could staff that facility on Saturdays with the 10-hour day that we had previously seasonally. We could do that from April through October and then have reduced hours on Saturday, because the data that we had collected showed that we were only collecting about 7% of the material that we would collect during those 7 or 8 months that you obviously expect people maintain their yards. So we went to a reduced amount there. And quite honestly, it was an effort to get that person who was working on Wednesday back out in the field to try to work on street maintenance and other more needed tasks than being at Pearl Street. So that was what was presented to the mayor in the budget. That was presented to the committee of the whole. I can't tell you that dumping is a product of reduced hours at Pearl Street.
So what would you suggest when people dump in your alley? What are our options?
Well, net is at the city's disposal. That is what, they are here for, to go out there and investigate and write orders for cleanup if people are doing that type of activity. That's how it works. If you're trying to say that all the dumping now has occurred to the reduced hours,
I'm not saying that, John.
I'm not sure that's, we had at one time the facility was open 5 days a week. At one time, 20 years ago, it was open only 2 days a week. And then it went to 5, and then it's back to 2, now it's down to 1. So again, I understand your comment, but I don't know if that one thing is related to the other. I don't know. Now, if there's a need for more hours that this body would like Public Works to consider, I think that's fair discussion for the 2027 budget, and say, hey, I think we need to be open more than just on Saturdays.
Well, just so people on the committee understand, in 2025, Pearl Street was open on Wednesdays and Saturdays, correct? Previous to that, it had been open more days. So each year, we're losing another day of service for the public to come in and dump their yard waste. There was a time when you could actually, put yard waste in the curb, and it would get picked up, correct, John?
That is correct, and all those services that you are describing cost money, labor, equipment, and I'm just trying to make the point that those are things that alley maintenance, right? When you're doing these things, so it was an effort to try to
well, I think
provide resources maybe where they're needed more.
Where we see the biggest reduction of service is those things with Public Works, with street maintenance, alley maintenance. We used to have recycles picked up every week. Now it's once every 2 weeks. We used to have yard waste picked up in the curb. Those are all services that we no longer have. And from my perspective, things like the yard waste dumping at Pearl Street isn't something that should have been reduced. And I'm sorry I missed it in the budget. I probably would have proposed an amendment that the staff would not have allowed me to put forward because I didn't have a funding source for it. So I guess it is for this committee to decide if we want to look at expanding those services. I don't know if it's premature to do that now, but I think it's something to be considered.
Well, if
And I expected when I put this communication in that I would get a tongue lashing from the Commissioner of Public Works. I
I'm not-
fully
I'm not-
expected that.
No, I'm not
Thank
here to give you a tongue. I'm trying to explain to you that it was conveyed. And what also was conveyed in that 5-minute department presentation is that monies were put in the budget to move yard waste to our transfer station. That was also discussed as well. So what we're doing, we've already had the study completed. So now the transfer station out at 6321st Street, where you can bring your tires and your e-waste and all that other stuff, you will also be able to bring your yard waste there. So we're looking at expanding that. That will be put in the 2027 budget, and there will no longer be a location at Pearl Street. Everything.
There will no longer be a location at Pearl Street?
That is correct. And that was in the 5-minute presentation, that we will be having a one-stop shop for all things people want to get rid of. And so we're going to be looking at presenting that in the budget for 2027 to include the yard waste being deposited over at 21st Street. That'd be a great time to discuss if you want to have different hours of operation at that location. But yes, and that was included in our budget documents.
Thank you, Commissioner Rooney. So we got quite a bit of information, the reason why the hours have been changed, when it came before the city council, how it got approved, and in the future, the location itself will be eliminated. Alder Allen had her hand up. Alder Allen, do you still have any questions?
Oh, I wasn't a question. It was just, I do recollect that entire presentation. And I do want to say that how much money we were versus how much foot traffic we were getting there, why it made sense to reduce those hours. I know we just recently made sure that the hours were correctly updated on the website also to show the Saturday operations and this one being closed. And I want to say, was it like $200,000 was like the figure amount that it was costing us to keep that open? Aren't really making that back for the, and that was part of the, I think that's the right amount. I'm not looking at my notes.
Yeah, it's
I know
a little
it
easier.
wasn't pennies. I know that.
Yeah, I don't have the exact figure of how much it was to provide that service on Wednesday there. It was more of a reallocation of that labor that was being used on Wednesday to put back into street maintenance and other activities, leaf collection, or whether it's spring or fall leaf collection, what other ever activities we're providing out there. And moving this to the transfer station, I think, gives us a better opportunity to provide service more days a week, and I'll tell you why, but something we'll probably share with the committee of the whole in the budget proposal, because the transfer station is manned 6 days a week now. We're out there 5 days a week collecting refuse, recycling, municipal solid waste comes in there. It's being dumped on the floor. It gets hauled away. On the back side of that facility, we're open Tuesday through Saturday, every 5 days a week, to collect those items that can't be landfilled. That's where we'd like people to bring their yard waste. It's already being managed by 3 employees out there. So that could have some expanded hours out there because we already have the employees there. So please keep that in mind when you consider the 2027 budget. I think it's a great opportunity to have it open more often. And then that one employee that we have at Pearl Street now could be moved back into street maintenance. So.
Alder DeMark.
Kind of answers some of my questions about the transfer station, Pearl Street. The other thing is, I wasn't part of the committee a year ago. Can you tell me what day that presentation was?
What day that presentation was?
Yeah.
Yes, if you go on YouTube and you look up the Common Council meetings, go to the October 22nd, 2025 Committee of the Whole, and at about 32 minutes into that presentation, this is where I brought up it being moved to the new transfer station as a study, which we already completed this year, and also talking about going to Saturday-only hours at the existing facility.
The other thing is, how much is it to operate Pearl Street currently with just Saturday versus Wednesday and Saturday?
Ron and I can get that data and we can email it to the committee. To man that, and have obviously the equipment there to move the material around, so.
And the other thing is, when everything is moved from I'm just saying,
Right.
if it gets moved to transfer, what will be in its place at Pearl Street? You said something about maintenance or?
What will be at Pearl Street, we already exist there now, just the yard waste won't be deposited there anymore by city residents. So that it all get deposited out at the transfer station location, contractors will have space in there to come in and do the tub grinding, grind up all the material, haul it away, make room for more material, that gets brought in. That Pearl Street, that location over there already houses our traffic department, our fuel depot, our salt sheds, storage for all of our blades and other equipment. And if you'd like a tour of our DPW facilities, being a new alder, we'd glad to show you all of it as well. But it's not just a standalone for yard waste only Pearl Street. We have many other operations that go on over there. Our brine system's over there as well for brining the roadways.
I'll keep in contact with you about taking a tour.
And if you want to find additional information from the meeting that Commissioner Rooney is talking about, that is what it looks like on YouTube. All right, Alder Papone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was a part of, obviously, the conversation last year, but I did have a constituent that reached out that asked me to read their opinion just because they can't make it here tonight. Her name is April, and she said that she's writing regarding the hours of the Pearl Street facility, and many people who work and have obligations or have obligations on Saturdays, and parents often have soccer games, ballet lessons, etc., to which they need to drive their children. Sometimes it's simply not possible to make it to the Pearl Street facility on Saturday within the open hours. Please add at least one day or a half day during the week for yard waste drop-off. Most of us are responsible and want to drop off our yard waste at the Pearl Street facility to keep it out of the landfill. However, if people cannot drop off the yard waste, some may decide to put it in their trash or dump it somewhere, therefore costing the city more money to transport to the landfill. I applaud the city for trying to save money, but I don't think this is a good cost-saving measure, nor does it meet the needs of the city residents. Thank you for your consideration. So I told her I would read that, and I did. I don't have anything else to add to the conversation. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Alder Papone. Are there any other questions? Alder Widener.
Move to receive and file.
We have a motion to receive and file, a second. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? All, motion carries. That exhausts our agenda for tonight, and now I need a motion to adjourn. Move to adjourn in second. We have second. We are adjourned. Thank you.